Hello, hello. Today we have another what I hope is a quick review. This is the Rich palette by Beauty Bay. This is the 16 color palette. There is a 9 palette, this 16 palette, and then there's like a 54 shade or something, like 45 shades, like something crazy, y'all. Like it's a huge palette. I got the medium size, and I'm reviewing this one today because per my, my little polls that I put on my community tab, there was a response that all of y'all prefer some neutral palettes and y'all wanted to see a little bit more affordable palettes on my channel. So I'm putting this one forward. This is the Rich palette by Beauty Bay. I think this is quite affordable. I'll check out the price, but I feel like overall Beauty Bay is quite affordable. I don't think I remember this palette being more than $25. Let me see what I got this one for. So I look back at my receipts and it looks like I got this palette for $15. 16 shades, $15. That's less than $1 per shade. I think this is a really good deal. I think for $15, I feel like that makes this palette quite affordable. Beauty Bay tends to run a lot of sales on their Beauty Bay brand palettes. So usually on the best of days, quite often you can find these palettes for 50 to 60% off. I don't know if $15 is the retail price. I might have gotten it on sale, which I assume I possibly did. But these go quite often on sale. I think they're really affordable, and I think the formula in here is quite solid. Alright, this is the palette inside. It has your row of mattes, another row of mattes, and then another shimmer. There are 9 shimmers, and then the rest are all mattes. I quite enjoyed using this. I think this was, pretty good formula. A little bit less sparkly than I usually like, but I think still very well. I admit I went researching into this palette a little bit more, and I wanted to see what other people were thinking about this and what they were saying. And I was, to be honest, a bit surprised to find that this palette is actually quite popular amongst what I would think is like women 35 to 50. So that makes me think that this palette probably works very well with mature skin. And I was thinking about that as well when I was using it, because I'm like, if this feels like the level of sparkly I think my mom would like. My mom's in her 50s, and this is the level of like sparkle that she likes. I like a super wet, like just crazy looking shimmer, but I think as we all get older, we prefer something a bit toned down, and I think this is a good kind of medium where I would not call these satins. I would call this one and this one satins, I think, and maybe that one. But I think the rest of these I would call shimmers. This one is not, this one feels very different to the rest of them. Let me move this light a little further away. Move the light a little further away. Hopefully it's not too white, but something like that. Not super intense. Like you can kind of see it flash, but it's not a crazy amount. I think my favorite shade in here was this candle called Shade. This is so pretty to me. I think this was the kind of level of sparkle that I like. I really liked it. I think that's a good amount of sparkle. I think that's my favorite. So like this is so, you can tell this is so much more toned down, and this one's so much more wet looking. I love a shade like this. Ultimately for me, I'm gonna have to declutter this for myself. I found that these two shades were just too light on my skin. It kind of also felt like the mattes in here were a little bit muddled when I used them. Other than that, while I did like this palette, there's nothing absolutely outstanding about this palette that I feel like I need to keep it. And I feel like I have, of course, enough palettes. I have a huge collection that I don't think I'm gonna miss this palette. I think it's really pretty though, and I think if you are interested in something like this, I feel like you will have fun with it. I love that there's more shimmers than mattes in here, because I love a shimmer. But I think, like, I do recommend this. I think if you're thinking about buying this, especially if you have more mature skin, I think this can become an everyday palette for so many people. I'm gonna skip out on it just because, like I said, I think I can find something better or similar in my own personal collection, because I have dozens of palettes. But this is really pretty. This is really fun. Thanks for making me look in my own collection to see what kind of neutral and affordable palettes that I had in it.